What was your first car?
My first car was a Honda Prelude for 24 hours that broke down on the way back from the auction.
That's amazing.
And then a Jeep Grand Cherokee for the next 5 years.
Nice. I had Grand Cherokee, 98 Grand Cherokee Laredo.
Exactly. I think I had a 99 Grand Cherokee Laredo. That's exactly it. I think it was amazing.
Like a Jeep.
That was a perfect high school car. That was your first car too, huh?
No.
American.
No, it was not my first car.
Ah, what was your first car?
My first car was a Mitsubishi Eclipse, an 89 Mitsubishi Eclipse
Oh my
with
God.
a supercharger.
I remember those things were hot. Those things were hot back in the day.
I'm not even going to try, but I'm going to pull over.
You're not going to parallel park?
No. This thing's going to parallel park for me. Eugene and I met through young leadership at the Associated. Eugene, in his day job, runs the Poverni Chic Group, which is a real estate development firm. Eugene holds his JD from GW and an MBA from the University of Maryland. He's a great guy and is super involved with National Young Leadership Cabinet through Jewish Federations of North America. We're going to be grabbing coffee at Gardens and Grounds Bistro right here in Baltimore. I think you should join us for this one for a very special Mensches in cars getting coffee. Hey, thank you so much. Cold brews over that way.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. This looks fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. I love the spoon. That's great.
This is a solid size.
Yeah. Anybody who brings me a mason jar with a little handle, I'm a fan. Eugene, thanks so much for coming in and sitting down with me, grabbing some coffee here at Garden and Grounds. This lovely cup of coffee. Cheers. L'chaim. It's great to see you. So we met through Young Leadership at the Associated when you did YLC.
We did, yeah.
What have you been involved in since?
Yeah, so I've been doing National Young Leadership Cabinet for the last 4 years. Great program, really been enjoying it, meeting other kind of Jewish leaders from other major cities. A little strange during COVID that the world turned off for 2 years. Less interpersonal interaction for those 2 years, but now it's back. And I've also been really involved locally with HIDE, our housing kind of federation arm. And it's been great. You know, we really enjoyed building additional affordable housing, additional senior housing, and serving our 1,600 plus seniors that live in our units here in Baltimore, Maryland.
You're able to kind of leverage your day job, which is real estate development and lending.
Sure.
Is that correct? You're leveraging that in your kind of lay work.
The goal is to create some value, right? And create some, be able to add to the organizations that I'm spending time with. And so during the day, we build real estate and we lend money to other developers that are building real estate. And on the kind of heartstring side of my time, we get to help those people, help High figure out how to build its real estate better, operate a little better. What are we seeing in the private markets that we can use in the nonprofit side? And what are we doing right in the nonprofit side that we try to steal back to the private markets?
Growing up here in Baltimore as a non-native, you moved here, remind me, when you were 7?
Yeah, 6.5.
6.5.
When Bill Clinton was inaugurated.
When Bill Clinton was inaugurated, you moved to Pikesville.
That's right.
How's that been? Like, what's your involvement with the Associated been from childhood to now?
So, look, when I was a kid, and we just immigrated here from the former Soviet Union and kind of Israel in the middle, involvement was limited, right? I think as a child, I didn't appreciate that the Associate even existed, but we were the recipients, right? We went to the JCC, I went to Camp Milldale. Being an adult now, looking back, I realized I probably went to Camp Milldale pretty subsidized. Our JCC membership was inexpensive. My grandparents lived in one of the Weinberg buildings that Chai owns and operates. And so, I think our family was a net recipient and didn't even really understand, frankly, what is this whole federation system. For me, growing up, I went to Maryland for undergrad. I went to school in DC after. It was when I came back to Baltimore to start my business, and I sat next to the former executive director of High at a random charity dinner. He's the one that really pulled me in and started telling me, hey, look, why don't you spend some time with us? Here's what we do. And through kind of getting to know him and High and then YLC, really started understanding the Associated Federation system. It was a black box in the beginning, but now I think I've got some idea of what it really does. So tell me, the word mensch, what does that connote when you hear the word mensch? Yeah. To be a mensch is somebody that kind of does the right thing when they don't have to, right? Like when I think about it, when I say, someone's a mensch, or you think about somebody as a mensch, it's somebody that kind of, it treats people the right way and kind of is open, is candid, and somebody that you can inherently trust. They won't do you wrong just because they can. Frankly, it's a rare breed in today's world. And when you find them, you keep them in your life, and you kind of get rid of everybody else.
So who are a couple people in your life who you would identify as, that person's a mensch?
I'll tell you, somebody comes to mind is actually my business partner, Ibrahim. the chic and Poverni chic.
I believe affectionately called the Sheikster.
The Sheikster. Ibby's the definition of a mensch. So I have two partners. I have Ibby and I have Greg. And they're both just good people. That's why I worked with them for a decade plus. I know they'll do the right thing kind of no matter what, and that's a rare thing in life.
Culturally, moving from the former Soviet Union to Baltimore, what are kind of some of the delicacies you miss from your childhood?
Yeah.
And what are some of those things you've grown to appreciate? Like, can you ever really fall in love with rainbow cake?
Yeah, no. Nor can I fall in love with coddies. I don't know how anybody thinks that that's food.
It's no sprotte.
It's no sprotte. That's right. Sprottes are delicious. Mwah. A little herring, a little baked potato. So look, I left the former Soviet Union when I was 3, and I lived in Israel ages 3 to 6. So my culinary kind of experience with kind of that kind of cuisine just comes from my parents cook at home. The reality is my parents still cook at home. So I eat borscht, and I eat, schnitzel and meatballs, and herring and baked potato.
So Eugene, you and Javier Abramson, you're co-winner of the Fred Walpert Award, which is an award the Associated gives for folks who have shown real commitment to the campaign, to fundraising, and furthering the involvement of the next jet within the Associated. Tell me what that's meant to you, what the Fred Walpert Award means to you, and what winning an award in general means to you.
Look, I was surprised, to be frank. I'm pleasantly surprised. I've been involved with the Associated now, I think maybe about 7 years or so, and getting more and more involved by the year. And I certainly appreciate the recognition. Like anything else, right? I think one of the issues that we have locally in our federation, and we see in other cities, is it's kind of the older generations that give and came up with giving, and that our generation, the generation behind us, I'm kind of a millennial, I think you're kind of a millennial, right? Let's call them the Zers. There's just more nonprofit fundraising options, other groups. There's just more connectivity in the world. And so your time and your kind of giving is being diluted, not necessarily a bad thing, but it just is, right? So while our parents and grandparents, were really focused on, I'm a Jew, I'm gonna help the Federation, our generation and generations behind us, taking more affirmative steps to keep us kind of pulled in and active and engaged, because in the world we live in, it's just so easy to get distracted and kind of see what else is going on. And for better or for worse, time is truly a limiting factor. And the mission of the Associated and Federation's pretty amazing, and amazing to me as a Jew. I think amazing to you as a Jew. And so I'm honored to receive the award, and I'm honored to kind of keep the work going. So I think it takes affirmative steps and time. Like, this isn't one of those things that just takes care of itself. My kids aren't gonna just be born and saying, I wanna make sure the Jewish community in the US is naturally, internationally strong. It takes us actually doing something about it.
I'm Yankee Shore, and this is Mensches in Cars Getting Coffee.